Dreamhack is one of the most recognizable event names for esports conventions in the world. With events spanning multiple continents over many years, and with my recent interest in Street Fighter 6, I decided that Dreamhack Atlanta seemed like a pretty great first big tournament for me to attend and compete in for this game. I've competed locally and online and gotten some solid wins and placings, but nothing too crazy yet. So I hope this weekend would prove to be the start of something beautiful in my burgeoning quest to become one of the best Street Fighter 6 players in the world. For anyone not up to speed, I've been a massive fan of watching Street Fighter for almost as long as I can remember, but felt like because of how busy I was with Smash,
Oh no, he did it! He did it! Fatality did it! Fatality defeats Nairo to get into top 8!
that I'd never get a proper chance to try going the distance myself, instead of just watching players like Daigo, Snake Eyes,
Dangerous, and the Flash, and the SBD, Snake Eyes defeats Punk!
and Tokido do awesome things.
That's it! Tokido is the
They've been my favorite Street Fighter players for about as long as I can remember. I figured while waiting for the next Smash game, which is likely at least a few years away, and Street Fighter 6 being very new, that there was no better time to try chasing another dream. I main DJ in this game for a handful of reasons. First, he's top tier as it gets, and I'm playing to win out here, baby. But aside from that, he's the coolest top tier in my opinion, and I like his combination of deceptive movement options, great conditioning tools with his movement, and being the only character with multiple moves that do nothing for faking people out. He's all about getting massive damage punishes off of hard reads, and is flexible enough offensively and defensively that you can handle anything. Although a lot of his good poking moves not being drive rush cancelable makes him more vulnerable than most to getting drive impacted, which is the main weakness of his I have to keep in mind when mixing up my pressure and neutral. The weekend in question arrives starting with December 15th on a Friday. I wake up and hit the road. Thankfully, parking wasn't too bad, which is never a given in Atlanta, and I entered the venue. It's always cool that these events are a celebration of esports just in general, so you can watch live CSGO, League of Legends, FGC stuff, or really whatever suits your fancy and just have it all under one rooftop. I first find J-Shells, who is one of our local Manon players, and get some good practice in for a bit. Despite it definitely being a matchup that my main DJ wins on paper, I've personally struggled to have a consistent game plan I like. So I appreciate getting to try some stuff out. My main problem has been finding ways to slow down her riskier burst tools without moving back too much and giving up free stage control. So experimenting with checking forward movement on reaction with light attacks, mixed with ambiguously holding charge for anti-airs and fireballs, seems like the move. At least for now. After playing J-Shells for a bit, FGC Jesus shows up, who's an Aki main that used to main Manon too, and he shows us to the new venue setup that they've got for the FGC and Smash section this year. As excited as I was for my first big Street Fighter 6 event, part of why I was so excited for this weekend was getting to see old friends again from the Georgia Smash scene, so the vibes were immaculate as usual. Some things never change. I love you guys forever. While my pool for Street Fighter didn't start until the next day, something new and cool this year was that Jabali, yes, that Jabali, was running a King of the Hill setup on the big stage where if you won enough sets in a row against random people who lined up, you could win a free pass to a future Dreamhack of your choice. So of course with no tourney matches to think of for the day, I entered the line, and had to play a pretty good modern Luke. I think DJ versus Luke is even, both against classic controls and modern versions, but modern Luke in particular can be quite tricky to fight because of how many one-button specials and supers he has with great burst potential. It makes his ability to whiff punish small buttons debatably the best in the entire game, so you had to play way safer than most matchups and remain diligent to avoid overextending and getting love tapped across the screen for having the audacity to breathe or just slightly budge. We end up going the full distance to game 3, but I briefly forget he's on modern controls in the last round and he reacts to a drive rush with raw level 3. Unfortunate reminder of the fact that he's on modern controls, and after a desperation level 3 super on wake up, he blocks and I lose, which, go figure. Much to my dismay, soon after this the King of the Hill station closes before I get a chance to win a Dreamhack pass, and all seems lost. Until Jabali himself descends from the heavens with a proclamation uttered throughout the kingdom of gamers. If thou can smite thyself upon the throne I rest, thou may obtainest a free Dreamhack entrance. I jump at the chance and into the line for that, hopeful that none will defeat this man before I get the chance myself. Sadly, I had an equipment issue at the time and so the match didn't get recorded, but I did end up winning and securing myself a free Dreamhack pass for the future, Cool. To make sure I perform as well as I could the next day, I decided to go back home for the night and enjoyed a nice dinner of homemade Cajun shrimp Alfredo. What, you didn't know I throw down in the kitchen like that? Well, now you do. Before we get to day 2 though, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Junk Food Arcades. I was a fan of their products before they even approached me about this, and have some friends that work with them. Funny how that works out, isn't it? They're a manufacturer and developer of fighting game oriented controllers, with their most well-known model being the Snackbox Micro, which is my controller of choice when playing Street Fighter, and a favorite of countless fighting game pros. The sleek design, small size, and ergonomic button layout is optimized for comfort and competitive viability, and quite easy to travel with for attending events like EVO and anything else you fancy. It's very nice to not have to worry about issues going through TSA, you know? Especially as someone who travels for games a lot. You can optimize this thing in ways you probably wouldn't expect, such as the types of buttons, the sound they make when pressed, custom art cases, and more. My model, for instance, has holographic album art of K.O. Dot's Choirs of the Eye, which is one of my favorite albums ever. And these buttons that clickety-clack when pressed like a regular keyboard. That's nice. They're also working on this new controller called the Swirl, which is kind of a more all-purpose gaming controller, but with the sensibilities and style of a fighting game controller. I got to demo this thing at their HQ and played Elden Ring with it, and it felt pretty good. It's not out just yet, but keep your eyes peeled if it's the kind of thing you're interested in. They've got other models available too, like the LBX line aimed at platform fighters, and the V2 family if you like something with more bulk. You can check out their website at junkfoodarcades.com and order your own controller now however you like it. Also, it's cool that the B-roll in this video is recorded at 404, which is the main local I attend every week to play this game, so I'm always happy to support good local business. Feel free to stop by there on Fridays if you want to run some games. Anyway, it's a sweet product. Thanks again to Junk Food Arcades for sponsoring this video. It's finally time for my first real test in Street Fighter 6. I wake up, start the drive through Atlanta to the venue, and arrive bright and early for my pool on December 16th. My match gets called by the TO, and with that, my first set at my first major for Street Fighter 6 is about to begin. And for the first time in a very long time, I feel some genuine nerves in pools. I might have almost 20 years of experience competing in Smash at this point, but this is my first time putting myself out there like this for something completely different. And as exciting as that is, it's also a little scary in a way. Here goes nothing. My initial plan against unknown Dhalsim players is usually to just hold back and mix between trying to intercept his noodle arms with my own hitboxes, and throw an occasional fireball to try and discourage him from feeling comfortable throwing out his long-range moves, then see how they react before deciding what to do next. After Emerald decided to stay passive, I drive rush in with a sweep to start some pressure. After it lands, I can start the mix-up pressure game on his wake-up. From here, Emerald just gets caught in a vortex of spins, into grabs, a tick throw, and shimmies. As solid as Dhalsim can be, his corner defense is among the worst in the game, and he ultimately doesn't get to breathe again before the first round ends with a perfect. Anticipating a fireball, I immediately jump in, and luckily don't get punished for guessing wrong before landing a clean counter hit with a drive rush medium punch, and getting a solid combo to push Dhalsim into the corner once more. I fake out a grab, and start some jab pressure. Once I realize they expected grabs every time I do the spin, I get another opening, and then finish game 1, jumping over a grab into a beefy combo. Double perfect. I'm honestly really surprised at how well things are going so far, but from there I get a massive confidence boost and feel the nerves fade away. I can make it out of pools at my first big Street Fighter 6 event. I got this. Game 2, Emerald starts applying more pressure to try and stop my momentum, landing a teleport grab, and then starting the classic Dhalsim zoning to establish a presence. After taking some hits, I catch an attempted sweep with some jabs and take my turn back. Drive rush to fake an attack, and then grab. And attempt another out of a spin, but they were ready. From here, fearing they might escape, I go all out aggressive with a mix of forcing throw breaks, jabs to counter hit Dhalsim's slower moves, and jumps to hopefully catch an overcommitment. Once I expect a button on their next wake up, I drive rush back heavy kick and cancel into a combo breaker when I realize their drive impact to try and reversal me will be broken by the combo starter. I expect this combo to finish, but there's a pixel of health left. Thankfully, I catch him trying to slap me away with a jab to finish the round. Potential final round starts with me playing passive to size up their new behavior. After a jab catches their jab, I drive rush medium punch and catch an attempted reversal to convert into some fireball damage. Then cancel a jab into DJ's funny jump move to start more pressure. They stuff a greedy jab and reset, but I quickly land a sweep, only to get pushed away again. But after an unfortunate misinput aerial from them, I get a free corner opening and start the jab vortex again. Bait another grab into a shimmy combo, sadly drop it and land one last sweep. They react and try and read a jump, but I stay grounded and seal the set. with a grab to play it safe. After taking my first set cleanly, I felt a lot better. Intuitively, I knew beforehand I had some solid stuff as a player, but there were still some dropped combos and the other usual mistakes. But if I can clean that up, I'm feeling great about the rest of my pool. Round 2 of my pool, I was up against Sharks, who is generally considered to be one of the best PM players in the world. For anyone who might not know, PM is a mod of Super Smash Bros. Brawl that makes its gameplay more like its predecessor Melee, and it's a really great game that I used to compete heavily in. In fact, I was the best Captain Falcon in the world for it back when I played, and it's something my heart will always have a special place for. I suppose, like me, Sharks decided to try out Street Fighter though, so here we are at Dreamhack in the present. He plays Manon in this game, and while that matchup scares me a bit, even though it probably shouldn't, I remember my practice with J-Shells and try to lock in for round 2 of the tournament. Against Manon, it's usually best to take on the role of a zoner, since every time she command grabs me, she gets another medal, which stacks between rounds, and each one up to 5 makes the following command grabs hurt even more. Eventually her damage gets terrifying, so gotta play good defense. After my first opening, I get a chunk of damage, but my pressure gets red with a parry and I'm on the back foot. Thankfully, a risky drive impact pays off and I get the corner. Smart tech from Sharks resets neutral though, and I go back to playing patient until I bait a parry and rush in with medium punch into a midway cancelled kick into grab. Sadly dropped a game-winning combo in the ensuing scramble, but a nice trade on a landing neutral poke nets me round 1. Manon struggles on defense, so most of the time I want to camp hard or blitz her. I go with the blitz to start and get some damage with the fireball block string. Good whiff punish on the poke, bread and butter combo. Oh god, I messed it up and got grabbed. After blocking some attacks, I find a new opening when I realize how low Shark's drive meter is and try to burn him out with a safe block string. Overextend afterwards gets caught by a super though, and I'm in the corner. While in burnout, he decides not to get too crazy, and some patient neutral happens until I rush in with the same block string from earlier to fake the grab, but this time, I jump and punish his grab punish and get the game-winning combo. Feeling good, I decide to apply more pressure after another fake fireball into drive rush grab. He doesn't bite on my sway attempt, and after some back and forth safe pokes, I finally get another opening with a medium sobot and go for wake up pressure. Sharks misreads my next move, and I jump over a drive impact and use my own to force a burnout and use a simple combo to keep my resources high. Knowing all my moves are safe for now, I use some block strings that are just barely unsafe outside of burnout, hoping he'll mess up and get caught trying to counter hit me. After pressing forward with more fireballs and sobots, he gets close to the corner for my own drive impact to seal the round. One more to go. I open with a real fireball this time and get a drive rush stuffed by Sharks into a grab. Fearing more pressure, I overdrive my invincible up kicks to slow things down and keep a solid position. I go back to mixing between my long range pokes to keep Manon at mid range before catching her toes with a sweep and taking this chance to gain space. After 2 low sways, I do nothing and thankfully a level 2 super comes out, which is easy enough to parry here. Sadly, I short circuit IRL and drop a combo into dropping another combo and somehow get away with it after landing another medium sobot. I read retreating movement, but guess wrong and oh shit, I cornered myself. I take a short combo before deciding to stay patient and wait for an overextension that never comes. Apply pressure with a low sway, and if it doesn't work the first time, try again. And oh, do you look at that, I got a game-winning combo. DJ is very silly sometimes. It's nice to play a top tier. With 2 sets won, I was now 1 set away from guaranteed making it out of pools at Dreamhack Atlanta. The way this pool format worked was that if you win 3 sets, you'd then play your first top 48 match, and would win and stay in winner's bracket for the next phase, or lose and get sent to loser's top 48. If I could just win 1 more set, I'd be guaranteed to play again later that day for phase 2, and this was my first big event for this game. Making it to phase 2 would feel great. My opponent for this, however, would be Alex who's a strong Blanca player in my region. I believe we've only played once before at a 404 a few months ago, but I got thrashed, dumpstered. It was disgusting, and I was hungry for the run back. I've gotten way better since then, so it's time to show that progress and make top 48. I start things off with a good anti-air in reaction to Blanca Ball, and decide to hold block to see what his next move is. I get my fireball right at the jump, and he gets another read with a grab and I'm on the back foot. I expect a burst option, but then he hits me with a dash command grab, and I start to worry. He gets a great read on my DP in the corner, and I can feel the pressure bearing down on me, although he can't kill yet. I expect a single jab into grab after he deploys Blanca-chan, and guess wrong to lose round 1. First lost round of the tourney. Deep breath. I open up with a well-timed fireball into up kicks before landing a grab and establishing corner pressure. He doesn't bite on my sway attempt before linking a low into OD Blanco Ball to try escaping the corner, which I deny. I can't punish though, and he hits me for being just barely too slow to anti-air, but I get hard knocked down to stop a combo and swat him away on wake up. Double fireball into Sobak connects, but he DPs my next pressure attempt, which I'm fine with because he's near burnout now. I get a clean jump in and try surprising him with the spin, but he's ready, throws me behind. Uh-oh. After forcing a trade, I catch an aerial approach and fake a drive rush normal into grab to take round 2. On the board. He rushes me down to start, and I block it first before getting counter hit trying to stop him into his level 2, which is easily the best install super in the game. I take a short combo and get grabbed again, putting me under massive pressure, but I read him trying another grab and reverse the situation with my level 2 super, which has a built-in side switch. It's super good. He quickly escapes the corner, and I block well before he catches my toes into launching me away. I stay patient, getting back up, hoping I can punish an overcommitment and thankfully stuff an OD Blanco Ball with a fireball. I try to rush in, but he refuses my approach and lands yet another grab. After blocking like my life depends on it, he goes for a drive impact in the corner, which I jump over and get a small combo to stay alive. He then burns out to stop my pressure and put me one hit away from death. After getting a chunk of damage with 2 fireballs, I drive rush in to get a counter hit medium punch combo starter and seal game 1 in a nail biter. He starts game 2 blitzing me, and I hold strong. I don't react fast enough after landing a sway though, and after a few whiffs, get intercepted by Blanco Ball and sent center stage. I take the throw to play it safe and avoid combos, and catch him trying another blitz and a reversal her. Knowing he'll expect a quick move, I take the chance to set up frame advantage, but it doesn't pan out and I make a mistake trying to anti-air Blanco Ball the wrong way. Expecting him to activate Blanca Chan, I somehow sneak past and get a small combo to claim the corner. Quickly land a grab, and then use a spin to fake another for the shimmy, which goes well, until I drop the combo and get side switched by a burnout combo, but can now chip him out. I get some breathing room and condition fireballs and then wait for a jump, which pans out and round 1 game 2 is mine. Whew. I open up round 2 with some offense and he gets counter hit by a fireball cancel starting the round well. But I make a greedy approach and get stuffed like Thanksgiving turkey by a side switch combo into a grab, into pressure setting at level 2. This looks bad. I get caught by a low and take massive damage from an electric combo only to get mixed by a grab I misread as another Blanca Ball and reside 1 hit away from death. I briefly get some space, but get surprised by a drive impact and he takes round 2. I start round 3 slow, but he counter hits a fireball with a great read and tries to land another grab, but I'm ready this time. I do a block string to fake double sway low, but then simply use the dash cancel and throw him into the corner. I go for meaty back heavy kick to catch a jump, but then go for the high-low OD sway mix-up and correctly read a low block with the overhead into level 3 for gargantuan damage in the lead. He reads my attempted grab and techs, and I anticipate a burst option, so just wait, and my reaction to Blanca Ball was on point to take the set 2-0. Redemption is such a sweet feeling. After getting my run back from months ago, I'm now guaranteed to make it out into top 48. Only remaining question is whether it'll be through winners or losers bracket. Unfortunately for me though, the final roadblock to determine the answer to that is JB, one of the best Rashid players in the world. This would easily be my biggest test yet, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for a top level player yet, but I'll try my best. At the very least, I could feel some ease, knowing I was guaranteed to make phase 2, and not drowning in pools at my first big Street Fighter event is a nice feeling. I start game 1 by just looking for a whiff punish, and misread a poke JB catches with a drive rush combo, and suddenly my back is to the wall. He reads me blocking low with a beefy overhead combo, and in a desperate attempt to free myself I try a DP, but he's ready with the block, and now I'm one miscue away from death. I get swept by another overhead combo, not expecting the no mix-up, and just like that, I get annihilated round 1. Getting perfected hurts, but it's not over yet. I have some info now. Maybe I can turn the tide. I start round 2 with a good whiff punish, but he expects the sway and neutral gets reset to mid-range, where he quickly gets another opening. He catches an attempted second jab of mine, but isn't ready for the combo. Sensing opportunity, I rush in only to get rejected by the turbulent winds. With this space created, level 2 comes out, which is the best super in the game in my opinion. I read the first jab and land a sweep, but as the tornado closes in, he gets a grab and I sense danger. Reads my parry into another grab and tries the overhead, but I'm ready this time and deny his advance. Some good patience in the corner I had, but I got antsy trying to take space, and he takes game 1 with a great reaction. Better than getting perfected, but there's still much work to be done. I take a moment to collect my thoughts. With more diligent defense and a commitment to gaining ground more steadily, I can still do this. My whiff punishes were getting way better and reactions were good. Just need better strategy. Let's begin. Game 2 starts with taking my time, and I get a jab but don't convert in time. He lands a smart low now and carries my ass to the corner before faking another low, but I'm ready. I wasn't ready for a tick throw setup though, and he lands another tick throw with different timing to keep smothering me. After staying patient though, I finally gain ground and get some damage. But a greedy forward medium kick gets snagged and I'm 1 or 2 combos away from doom. Thankfully I catch an overextension with a DP, but burnout looms close so I buy time with fireballs. But he reads with drive impact, but sadly for him just a hair too slow, and I barely react with my own to get my first real chance for a win. I misread his movement and he lands an incredible whiff punish level 1 to reversal forge. I have a chance if I read his pressure, but he surprises me and I'm not ready for a level 2 and I die. So close. Round 2 starts slow, with neither of us getting an opening until he gets a drive impact I don't properly react to and get launched. Jabs into Sova to take my turn back and start more pressure before botching a potential combo with a fireball misread. Somehow I punish a drive rush with standing heavy kick before landing a sway low, and suddenly a massive chance presents itself. But I don't trust my spacing and go for a DRC extension instead of OD sway, and miss out on damage and get greedy not using level 3 to secure a dominant position. In hindsight, the sequence is probably where I lost this round and it hurts. He escapes the corner and throws me back before deploying level 2 and it looks bad. I poke him away once, but the tornado arrives and I actually block all the mix-ups? Let's go me. I then proceed to get mixed in the corner by a combination of lows and delayed pokes, before a final grab sets up 1 hit away from death. Suddenly I sense an opening and land a grab, eager to correct my earlier hubris, but don't get to capitalize after his impeccable corner defense. After a standoff, I get too comfortable with my fireball long range game, and he reacts to an OD fireball with his projectile invincible burst into a level 1 combo to seal the match. GG's. I won't lie, I felt some disappointment losing here, but it's hard to feel bad about honestly putting up a good fight against one of the country's finest players at my debut Street Fighter event. If the set was best of 5, I was adapting well enough to realistically take a game, but it wasn't meant to be this time. Nothing I could do but hold the L and keep it moving, since I still had top 48 losers later in the day to contend with.
So I made it into top 48 at Dreamhack Atlanta. This is my first big Street Fighter tournament. Unfortunately, I lost in winners finals in my pool to JB, the best Rashid in North America and one of the best players in the world. He kind of bodied me in game 1. Game 2, I started figuring some stuff out, but it was a little too late. He was just a little too clean. I wasn't able to make it out. But after the set, he told me the main thing I did wrong was I just don't know the Rashid matchup well enough. So he's actually told me he's going to play with me later after I go get lunch. So yeah, I'm going to go learn that and hopefully do well in top 48 later.
Going into top 48, I had to play Arjun, someone who's found top 8 success in a surprising variety of fighting games, both of the usual and unusual variety. But I didn't know of this at the time and simply heard from someone at the venue that Arjun played JP. It's a matchup I sadly don't have the best track record in, but here's hoping I can take this as a chance to correct that trend. Game 1, I focused on slowly moving in and dispersing ghosts with fireballs to start things off, before checking a drive rush with another fireball, a scramble later, and I misreact to a jump and take a small combo. I try blocking some projectiles but get my jump called out by spikes before rushing in. Arjun expects this though and teleports through a portal to nothing personal kid me. I force a trade, but get greedy dashing in and get comboed to the wall for nearly half my remaining life before another portal appears. I sadly miss input trying to parry and get hit from afar and rest on the ground again. Patient nooch for a bit before I stop a backdash with medium punch into a sweep to start some offense. I get complacent though and do the same sequence again and get blocked before Arjun takes round 1 with a simple and clean conversion. I parry his first approach in round 2 before missing a fireball and misreading his spacing with a jump and get comboed for my troubles. A projectile trade later, and I try closing the gap before getting read again by a teleport and taking unholy damage from a level 2 combo that corners me and does nearly 50% of my health bar. Not looking good. Another jumping gets caught by a spike before I finally get close, but don't get any damage. After a strong whiff punish, I have the chance for a level 3 self burnout combo, but I miss input and drop the level 3, so I just burn out for no reason and look like a nincompoop. I desperately run in trying to dodge projectiles, but Arjun reacts accordingly and stuffs my movement to take game 1. Not too happy about all my mistakes in game 1, but it is what it is. Game 2 opens with some missed projectiles before I get counter hit by the Cane of Doom and reset to mid-screen. I sadly miss a block on a low and lose another chunk of life before trying to use fireballs to clear space and kick back in. It lands, but no combo, so I tried running in but get stuffed once more and can see my drive gauge slowly getting whittled down. Another projectile lands and he deploys the double portal, clearly trying to burn me out. Gotta stay patient. But I mess up a fireball timing and get caught again and finally catch a teleport. But I shouldn't have used up OD up kicks when regular would have worked and preserved resources. I get a few reads and all seems lost when he lands Amnesia, but I remain stalwart and live. I apply more pressure but misread a burst from him with a drive impact, and I get counter drive impacted to lose round 1. Round 2 I try parrying a ghost but miss input again and take another chunk of damage. It looks like I finally get close, but wait for an overextension until I catch a drive rush or jab, but drop the combo. Medium kick is a decent improv move, but I get a sway after point blank fireballs and my chance finally arrives. I shimmy an Amnesia attempt and land another good combo, but he reads my jump with a crazy air grab and I have to play defense again. Level 2 sets of a parry read into grab and neutral resets. I close the gap, but whiff a low and get comboed potentially to a last hit situation. Another jump gets yeeted by a spike before he sets up portal pressure for the last time and surprises me with a heavy into a command grab to knock me out of the tournament. Do I wish I made it further? Absolutely, but all things considered my placing wasn't bad. I made it out of pools at my first big event for this game. I started putting up a good fight against one of the country's best players, redeemed a loss months ago, and made lots of new friends. Sadly, I'm not happy with my play against Arjun, but sometimes part of being a competitor is just who makes less clear mistakes, and Arjun made fewer, so GG's everyone. That being said, the weekend was still far from over, so it was time to make the most of it. I still wanted to try getting in sets with Punk, Dual Kevin, Idom, and as many other strong players as I could, and also money match people because, honestly, why not? So I continued my quest for improvement immediately. I first ended up money matching Ramsar, a good Rashid player I've run into online a handful of times, but just met in person here and they were fun games. I feel like I played pretty well and took my lessons from losing to JB well in order to clutch out a dub. My defense in the corner got better, I was more cleanly whiff punishing against crouching medium kick and his light normals, and otherwise had a good mix-up game with my offense. Still gotta work a lot on defending against his level 2 and developing set play for defense in the corner further though. Next, I money matched 2 Rush, a good modern Luke and JP player who goes back and forth between NC and Georgia and attends 404s during some parts of the year, where I first met him. Back then when we played, it wasn't close, and he still ended up beating me that day, but it was way closer this time, and I can feel myself getting stronger even through every loss, so it's all good. I also ended up playing a few games with Dual Kevin, who bodied me, but I learned a lot about how to better manage the distances I use certain drive rush options, how to better manipulate space as leverage, and the importance of balancing your mental stack to check certain burst options from getting my ass dumpstered. After all that, I just went back through the convention center to settle down for the night. But first getting a big group together for dinner at a local place called Manuel's Tavern. A big part of what makes big events like this so fun is group dinners with the squad hit different, especially when you're happy overall with how the event went. Honestly, didn't do shabby at all, and I'm happy with it for a start. Going into day 3, I just wanted to vibe with friends, play with more top players, and just enjoy watching. For the last time, I wake up, drive to the venue, I go back to grind mode and ask Punk if he's down to play before his top 8 matches. He agrees, and we have some really fun games where I learn a lot. Obviously I lost overall and he went Luke instead of his signature Cammy, but at least I took a game, already feeling the improvements from just the lessons of yesterday. What a great feeling. He also sat down and talked with me for a bit about the game, neutral theory, and other stuff that just gave me even more ammo to improve and grow with. So overall, I'm happy with it. I money matched the E-Honda that upset IDOM and winners named Harms, and when I was excited to test myself because for a good while, anyone who frequents my streams over the last few months knows I had a massive E-Honda problem for a while, and my win rate online was actually the worst against him specifically for a hot minute, and it was kinda embarrassing. But as of late, I've cleaned that up a lot and it showed in my gameplay, where I won a close and good set. After that, I had a little time to chill before top 8 and got asked Street Fighter 6 Top 8 ended up being a great show too. And it was really cool to see Sammy in particular do so well, our highest placing Georgia player. For anyone who might not know, Sammy used to go by Drugged Fox and was a pretty legendary Melee player who nowadays still coaches new players and top players as far as I know. And it's always neat to see people find this kind of success in not just multiple games, but entirely different genres of fighting games and platform fighters. Proud to see him succeed like that. Got some catching up to do. JB ended up winning the whole tournament over Pumpkin Grand Finals, which made my earlier loss to him feel even better in retrospect. And congrats to him for a sick performance. Overall, I still had a great time at Dreamhack Atlanta. Pretty decent first performance at a large Street Fighter 6 event, and I ended up learning a metric ton from the weekend. The main takeaways I have from this weekend as far as what I need to improve is developing stronger set play and neutral for every matchup, since I tend to just wing it a little too much right now, get better at playing more patient defense and force less reversals, and find better ways to gain and maintain space so that I can use it to leverage more consistent neutral wins, and avoid getting bullied into the corner as much myself. With all that said, it was a lot of fun making a video like this. It's super different from anything I've tried before, but I plan this to be the first in a long series of tournament videos where eventually I'll win a major and chronicle the whole journey, start to finish, with videos in this style from every single big tournament I go to. If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel. You can directly support higher effort videos like this by supporting my Patreon linked in the description. And otherwise, I stream every weekday with few exceptions at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so tune in live for the journey to becoming one of the best Street Fighter players in the world if you'd like. My next big tournament will be Frosty Faustings, where I'll record the next one of these, and hopefully do even better. Thank you for watching.